By the time you see this video, I've already sold the AD300pros from Godox. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why I get rid of all of my AD300pro. Let's get started. Hi everyone, my name is KK and I'm a photographer from 3D Photography. Today I'm going to talk about why I'm getting rid of all of my Godox AD300pro strobe or studio light or whatever you call it. The main reason I'm getting rid of them is because, first of all, the durability issues. If you ever seen one of these lights, they feel heavy on hands, but the issue with them is when you start using it, it just doesn't keep up with a lot of things. First of all, the mount for light, to mount it to a light stand, it doesn't really stick onto the. It doesn't mount onto the light in a really secure way. I mean, the reason I'm saying this is because comparing with the other lights I've got for Photo B10, this mount, although they are sharing the similar mechanism, this one will never ever stay in its place, and it will just start getting loose after maybe 1 or 2 times of use, and then it will wiggle around, and this is very annoying. And also with the tilting mechanism in one of these mounts, they are using some kind of gasket to secure them, but this gasket doesn't really hold. I've owned AD600pro previously. I've got one of those extension head, and the issue we've got there is the same here. It just can't stay in the position, especially when you're using something heavy, some heavy modifiers. And this is very annoying. Sometimes it would just fall down straight away, and sometimes it would slowly just tilt itself down to affect your photos. And even if you use all the strength to tighten this screw, it just doesn't hold, and that's annoying. And the second thing I've got issue with the AD300pro is the modern light. Although they have, it's good that they have included a modern light, but the main issue I've got is the modern light consumes a heck lot of batteries. And what do I mean? It consumes a lot of batteries. If I turn the light up to around 50% or more than 50%, the fan will kick in, and then the light itself will consume all the batteries from 100% to 0 in around 1 hour, and that's annoying when we're doing shooting outdoors. And compared with photo, if they're doing 50%, they might get maybe 1 or 2 hours, a lot more than AD300 offers. And the worst bit is, even if you are indoor with power outlets in your area, it doesn't have the options to use external power, which comparing to photo, you can just plug in the battery charger and the light will goes on forever. And this is annoying because the battery itself, I mean from AD300, I believe they're sharing similar design to the AD200pro or the AD200 or whatever name in your area it is. And I would say the battery itself is small in terms of capacity and the volume, and I'm confident to assume that this battery is not enough juice to power off this modern light. If you don't use a modern light, everything is fine, but if you start using it, you might get into trouble, or you might need to get more batteries. And the first thing with this light is, the issue with this light is the mount option or the modifier options. When you are buying one of these European lights, no matter you're going for pro photo Chrome or Broncolor, apart from the lights, you are buying for the whole system, just like what you did with your camera. You buy the body and then you stick with the lens family of that system, unless you're going for third-party lenses. It makes no difference in flash photography or flash world, whatever I should call it. With Godox, although they have already offered a lot of options under their new mounting system, but comparing with traditional manufacturer like Profoto, let's say, it doesn't does not make up. Godox know this problem. That's why at the first day of launching this AD300pro, they do offer a large variety of mounting options for this light or even the AD400pro. That includes Profoto, Bowens, and Chrome, I believe, so on and so on. But the problem with those mounts is if you're going for the Bowens mount, it will add extra width to the light, which breaks the compact size of this light. And if you're using the Profoto mount, it works with Profoto softbox, don't get me wrong. But if you're using bare light to do the lighting, the light itself looks weird if you don't have any modifier on it. And of course, I don't think you're want to use it with magnums, Profoto magnums. And for Bowens mount, you can either choose to mount it, the mount directly on the light, which makes it the most compact option. Although I've just said it adds width to the light. You can also go with one of these this Godox ADS2, I believe the model name. You can just put this AD300pro into it and put a Bowen softbox on it, and then you can call it a day. But the issue with this mount is, compared with the native options, a native Bowen option of the AD300pro, this mount is ridiculously huge. Well, what I mean by ridiculous huge is actually the mount itself. If you don't fold it into half, it is as large as an AD300pro. So if you are taking it with you, no matter in your suitcase or in the camera bag, it will take up a lot of space in your bag. And if you save this space, you can probably take another AD300pro. And even if I collect the mount, it's still considerable amount of volume. And also it is heavy, really heavy. And also it shares the same mechanism as the light. Although this one is bigger, it lasts longer, but I don't think it will last forever in any means. Also, for the app itself, both manufacturer offers remote control apps on smartphones, but from my own experience, Profoto did a very good job on making sure the user experience is good. And while Godox, it works, but it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't work. And the worst bit is the light itself doesn't have Bluetooth as far as I know. So what you have to do is you have to purchase one of those Godox remote control or remote trigger, which you have to anyway, and then use that as a bridge to control the lights with the smartphone via that trigger. And it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't work out very well in my personal experience. Although Godox does offer a better trigger than Profoto until recently they released the Profoto Connect Pro, which I'm gonna get one. And if I've got a chance, I'll review this the new trigger if I can. But anyway, in this situation, if you want to have you have a assistance or you want to control it yourself, Godox, I would just stick with the trigger control rather than the mobile app. Also, speaking of reliability, actually I used to have two AD300pros with me, but I've already sold one as what should I put it, junk, garbage, spare parts whatsoever. The problem with that light is, for some unknown reason, it would just it would not flash in some occasions. So if you're doing a continuous shot, you might lose 1 or 2 shots in the series, and this to be honest with you, this will cause a lot of trouble. And I'm saying missing, I'm saying missing. What it means is the lighting itself, the light itself. It would say, oh, I have fired the flash, but actually in reality it didn't. So there's a fake signal. I believe there's some kind of circuitry problem with this light. I mean, not this one, the one I've sold, but I couldn't bother to figure it out. And speaking of figuring out, in Hong Kong, due to recent pandemics, we are having trouble with getting this light to be serviced. I mean, Godox light. And in these situations, I would say the only option is to go for another flash, or stick with the flash yourselves, or just buy a new Godox flash. That's not good. So I believe this is all I've got, or all the moanings I've got with Godox AD300pros, and this is the reason I'm selling them all out to go for Profoto B10s. Well, let's be honest, the B10s have their problems. If I ever got a chance, I can talk about some of it. But some of them, they are my own issues. Because, for example, if I'm using Profoto flash with Godox ones, in recent updates with the B10s, you can go to around 0.1 stops power, which is a very small amount of power. It's around 1,024 steps, or is it something like that? And sorry, it's not step. It should be 1/1024 something. Sorry, my English is bad. And with Godox flash, the smallest powers it has got is 2.0, which translates into 1/256 of power. So in this situation, it's not good, because in some situation I'm doing some low light shooting and I want to use as less light as I could. And in these situations, the Godox doesn't do it very well, while the Profoto does handle it in a very good fashion. And in those situations, that I've got a few choice. Either I pump up the Profoto powers to make it, or I just don't use the Godox, or I use one of those ND filters, ND filter gels with it. But this is causing me a lot of trouble. And all of that said, the main point of getting rid of the Godox is it affects my my rhythm when taking pictures and all my workflow. That's why I'm going for Profoto flash in exchange. But don't get me wrong, the AD300pro is a really good flash. It has good power recycling time. It has good color temperature reductions, and it's cheap. I mean, the price it does matter in some situations. First, for example, if you're new photographers, you don't want to spend a lot of money with one of those expensive flash, because you have already spent a lot of money with your camera and your body. And in some situations, you want to use a flash in a really harsh way. For example, you're doing it near the sea or near water, and if anything happens to your light, with a Godox, you only lose maybe small amounts of money. But if you are going for one of those European lightings, you might get into trouble with your wallet or bank account. I don't think, and I believe that's the same situation for most of the people. So I would suggest Godox. I mean, in specific AD300pros to people, but it depends, because on the market there are a lot of there are not a lot of choices, but you still got some choices. For example, the AD200pro is also from Godox. I really like that light. I'm still keeping it in my bag for some situation, because it's it's small enough. The AD300 Pro is quite big, while it doesn't provide a lot of power pump from that light. And I have to say that light is a lot cheaper and offer similar stuff compared with AD300 Pros. And also, I would have to say, I just mentioned you have spent a lot of money with your lens and camera, and why not spend some more money to go for one of those Pro Photos or one of those European lights? I know some of them are really expensive, but for example, with B10s, the cost of B10s, it costs you around some top-end lenses prices. So in my point of view, if you're really into photography, I mean, this is a good choice to go for. But if you're just getting started, the Godox series AD300 Pro in specific might be a better choice for you. And okay, that's it. This is all what I want to say of me getting rid of my AD300 Pro. And hopefully this video will help people to consider or to decide which light they can go to buy one for their photographies. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in a comment, and I will answer it if I could. And also, don't forget to comment, like, and share my channel. In the future, I would like to take more the opportunities to do videos for photographies and gear review. So if there's more people interested, I will have more passion to do this, unfortunately. So thank you for your time to listen to my bad English, and hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.